I know exactly who I am. INFJ, anxious attachment, Enneagram 4.
Personality attachment. I know who I am. Well, first of all, props to the creator for a nice catchy title and thumbnail. If you're any bit introspective or if you ruminate at all, I think you're going to be kind of the type to click on this video.
You sure about that? That's why?
Which is totally me. I totally introspect and ruminate all the time. And I clicked on this. And then it started coming up on my Twitter feed, and boy, did they have a lot to say.
Twitter is a mean place.
Some of it was positive. You know, this one was positive. Had quite a lot of likes, but you know, then there were others, and I have to say, let's take a look at the others, huh? Jake wrote, "If you feel like this, you're just on your phone too much, to be honest." I did also especially agree with this one. It read, "None of you are self-aware. You are howling narcissists." This woman starts this video off by listing her personality type, attachment style, horoscope, as if borrowed categories add up to a self. You think about yourselves too much and have mistaken it for introspection. And another from Mac Star that says, "Generally when people describe themselves as self-aware, what they actually mean is neurotic." Of course, gotta be aware, ironically, of the fact that we're all in echo chambers anyways, online.
One in the chamber.
And we're kind of just gonna get fed what we're mostly just interacting with.
I'm starving.
Like, this one is kind of funny about her comment section. It says, "I got in an argument in her comments because she made a video about how unhappy she was with all of her material privilege. So I said she should probably try volunteering and maybe giving up some material, and everyone said I was being ableist and didn't understand depression." Just my own opinion, kind of seems like we're in that pop psychology space, you know? When those are the types of things going down in the comments.
Tripping on acid changed our whole perspective on it.
I mean, it wasn't until recently that most of the comments under this video were positive, but then, you know, people from Twitter came along and
Twitter is a mean place.
kind of started getting a little, you know, more negative. But even one from 2 months ago, I agree with. It says, "I always say self-awareness without action is just self-indulgence." And I guess that's kind of also just my disagreement too. I wouldn't say that a lot of this video is even talking about being self-aware actually. It's more of just talking about, you know, rumination, introspection, and self-analysis. Whereas self-awareness, or as the organizational psychologist Tasha Urich describes it, would be you have two different types of being self-aware: internal self-awareness and external self-awareness. Internal being aware of your thoughts, feeling, emotions objectively, almost like they are actual objects, like they are things floating in a river passing by and you're watching them go. And then external self-awareness about, you know, if your internal self-awareness is in alignment with how people actually perceive you externally. And while 95% of us think we are self-aware, only 10 to 15% of us actually are. Wait, does knowing that I'm not self-aware make me self-aware? Holy shit. And I totally fell into that trap. I thought for the longest time I was just self-aware.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
I more so think now I just ruminate a ton and I'm just introspecting all the time, which I don't think is actual self-awareness, and which research, I guess, also doesn't think it's actual self-awareness. And statistically speaking, if that's true, I would say most people clicking on this video are not actually self-aware.
It doesn't matter what you think!
Which is fine. I feel like it's a pop psychology term that we kind of glamorize for some reason. Like it's a intellectual thing almost, or like an aesthetic to be self-aware. And it's, again, too, it's something I totally wanted. I wanted to be self-aware and know myself, and, you know, I am aware of all my thoughts, feelings, emotions.
You are now a normal rat.
And I think for the longest time I was just ruminating. I think that is what this person also is doing. And just as like a definition of yourself, it's not really, and maybe she was kind of getting to this.
Well, we're waiting.
but I don't think she fully explained it in the video. But your personality types and all those things are more so tools, which she says. But yourself is kind of more like your thoughts, feeling, emotions, but also your unique experiences, memories, a bunch of other things that you can call yourself instead of just these things labeling you as, you know, you're an INTJ or whatever. And Tasha also describes this pretty perfectly in her TED Talk, that people who are self-aware will ask the question of what instead of why.
To start, we just need to change one simple word. Change why to what. Why questions trap us in that rearview mirror. What questions move us forward to our future.
And those who ask why are more being self-analytical than they are actually being self-aware. And I think what the creator of this video is talking about actually is that being too self-analytical is actually what's ruining her life, not actually being too self-aware. Because if you're constantly asking, why am I doing this? Why am I acting this way? That's definitely can lead and will lead to negative emotions and negative rumination, anxiety, or just like what they call like analysis paralysis.
Few different tricks in case your PS5 controller is not turning on.
I feel like self-awareness is kind of just like simply identifying things and objects and, you know, your thoughts as objects. Kind of how Mark Manson actually describes in his video.
It's only when we turn our focus on ourselves and make our thoughts and feelings the object of our consciousness that we are able to differentiate them and put them into perspective.
That you can see thoughts and feelings and emotions almost as objects, just as you do like external objects like a cup or something. And she also kind of gets into this at the end of her video and basically says that she knows who she is. She's an overthinker.
I am an overthinker. I love to introspect. I love to mull over topics over and over again and just find patterns and talk about why I'm feeling this way.
And again, I think that's just like being over self-analytical, not being too self-aware. But also, hey, you know, maybe we're all just pseudo-intellectuals out here, all doing our own type of pop psychology. And
I had a semester and a half of college, so I understand Freud. I understand therapy as a concept.
I just think that I really disagree with the pop psychology definition and like how we use or ascribe ourselves as being self-aware. I definitely more so agree with Tasha Urich's position, and basically, I mean, I don't even know if it's her position. It's more so just her research. But I thought we were past the pop psychology phase, and looks like we're still somewhat in it with the self-help. I don't know if it'll ever really go away. But anyways, I think Tasha's TED Talk actually ends kind of perfectly with what being self-aware kind of means and leads to. So I'm going to end my video the same exact way.
One of the best quotes I've ever heard on this subject is from Rumi. He said, "Yesterday, I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today, I'm wise, so I'm changing myself." Thank you very much.